is actually pretty close between these players, as well as the earnings. The earnings and the medals and everything. In fact, Pavelski and Hysen nearly mirroring each other with that power rank difference of only being 7 to 8. They might as well be at the same ranking, right? Like, this is going to be a matchup that decides a lot when it comes to their standings and power rankings.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And here we see Hysen still sticking with that Petra, but Pavelski, he's opening up with that Onyx that we saw a little bit earlier.
Right. And we know that he's got the Lucian pocketed in case he needs it. Gauntlet mirror match coming up for game number 1, but the cannon is what I'm most interested to see from Pavelski going into this game. And but just opens the door, so just punching Hysen left and right, getting a nice 4-piece gauntlet string, downlight nair, goes for that double downlight afterwards. Pavelski. Okay, but Hysen's showing that he can punch back.
Yeah, this is just a slugfest. They've got a couple of gauntlets, and they're just swinging.
Oh, I love the innovation from Pavelski on the Onyx neutral signature. That signature is an interesting one because it doesn't hit grounded. I feel like a lot of players have been finding difficulty using it as an anti-air, but what Pavelski is doing is he's riding up the side of the stage and clawing players that are on the ground with it, and he's been using it to great success in the last 2 matches that we've seen him play. Hysen, however, adapting to it a little bit. Ground pound comes through. Sidelight Sider, is that going to be it? No. Onyx a little tanky, but he can get that down air. No, doesn't hit. Pavelski makes it back. Downlight recovery, staple for Hysen when it comes to closing out these stocks.
Yeah, and we see him do that gravity cancel downlight a lot. Not only because, big haymaker, Pavelski, not one to fall behind for too long. But Hysen, he goes for those gravity cancel downlights on the gauntlets, not only to, catch people that are on the ground or if they jump a little bit, but he also gets over other people's attacks quite often with it.
Oh, Pavelski's got to be careful that charging that neutral stick as long as he could through the gravity cancel.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. That was almost the craziest weapon throw unarmed offstage string I've ever seen. Pavelski, however, isn't able to get the downlight to connect. Unarmed recovery comes through. Oh, he just barely avoids the jab coming out from Hysen with that nair. And now he's looking for those sidelight starters, but Hysen won't give it to him. Sidelight into sider, puts him off the right side of the stage. Ooh, that's it.
Side signature just catching the landing.
Yeah, the Onyx side sig, definitely not the best signature to whiff. But when it connects, there's a lot of power behind it as you send them blasting off the left side of that stage. And if you're using the Mammoth Fortress platform to even extend the range at which you hit it, you're going to be taking off stock super early on. Ground pounds being exchanged.
Ooh, a little bit of defense with the upward weapon toss there, trying to interrupt any ground pound attempt. Got Pavelski back on stage.
Ooh, silent hits. Ground pound comes down. Ground pound from Hysen, avoided. Ooh, downlight hits, and he just goes all the way, knowing that Pavelski's jumps were starting to go away. But Pavelski somehow manages to make that work. Another side stick hits. I mean, that was almost enough on its own. Weapon throw, nearly dive kicked by Hysen. He's just barely alive in this game 1. Oh, these side sticks have been beautiful.
That was nice.
He's going to go for it again. I bet he's going to do it again. Pavelski's just been hitting so many of these side sticks. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those modes where it's just kind of like, I'm just going to keep hitting you with this until it works. The side light comes through, the neutral stick comes through. He's got so much room to play with. Like, why not? You're not getting punished for it. Might as well continue side sticking. Side light, side air, that's enough.
Ooh, okay. Just when you're not expecting it, because you're expecting all the signatures that Pavelski was tossing out at the end there. I mean, yeah, you're right. When you've got that much of a lead, you've got the stocks to go with, you've got the extra one to play with. Obviously, just go for the one that's going to knock him out.
And what's nice about that is that as long as you're not taking too much damage for the whiff signatures, you might as well. It's not exactly how do I put
too
it?
Detrimental. You don't
adapting to a playstyle that is using a side sig every other move just becomes a matter of like, okay, this is a legend matchup that I've learned. This isn't a player matchup. So if Pavelski is able to successfully take out his opponent's stocks while doing that, then he's just being able to pocket what actual tricks and playstyles he actually has prepared. And that's what's nice about being able to do this. Like, oh, I'm this far ahead that I don't even have to really think about doing any of these complicated setups. I can just hit you with side sig over and over again. Why not?
Oh, yeah. And now it looks like Hysen is having to take a moment to sit and reflect on that. Be like, why not? What is the answer?
Yeah, the Gauntlet mirror match wasn't... Oh, yeah, as you were saying, the answer looks like it's Doji.
Yeah. So you're saying the Gauntlet mirror match didn't really favor Hysen towards the end there?
No, towards the entire game there. There was a moment where I felt like, okay, Hysen's turn to punch back, but really it was more like a get off me. It wasn't like I'm going to get a crazy gauntlet string. No. And then the orb wasn't really doing too much. He was getting the silent siders, but none of that. I mean, you're against a legend like Onyx with that 8 defense. Orb has the difficulty knocking out against a legend like that with silent sider. So we're going to go to Koji with the sword and the bow onto Mammoth Fortress for game number 2, as Pavelski's just going to continue riding with this Onyx until it ends up being a big enough issue for him that he has to even bring out something like the Lucian.
All right, so with the bow, he may not even need such high strength or force, doesn't need to build as much damage to score these knockouts, especially if he can get any kind of ground pounds off stage, maybe even down airs leading into it, just like
you
that.
Were saying.
The dream combo.
Oh, he goes for it again. Silent ground pounding. Why not? Just putting out these ground pounds as fast as possible, force your opponent to react to it. So then, like that, you could get those mix-ups where he hits one side light, dashes back and forth to place. Pavelski puts out that sider to get out of dodge, and then a down air hits right away. Hysen doing remarkably well with the bow so far. Sidelight dash forward, fakes him out. Just trying to get Pavelski not prepared for whatever Hysen's got cooking for him, and now that neutral light comes through. Tries to get the recovery off the top. Hysen, so much damage on the Pavelski so far. Can he seal the deal? Down light, down air into Nair. Oh, nice interruption from Hysen, just putting out a move as fast as possible, and the sider to dodge the side in place. You get the down air.
Wow.
In the stock.
Yeah, I mean, that was big, and now setting up the edge guard, looking for it. Oh, these gravity cancel signatures. Pavelski's always getting around them.
So Pavelski takes the first stock. That's pretty brutal. Hysen was putting in a lot of work into that game, but Hysen just showing, or Pavelski just showing that when it counts, doesn't matter how much damage you take. It matters what stock goes down first. And he's continuing to get even more extra credit here as he dodges left and right, makes it back to the stage. One downer hits, that will be it. And even game.
Yeah, dead even game. I mean, Hysen able to dance around, get the revenge knockout no matter how long it took. Oh, but Pavelski, look at these gauntlets. He's so good.
Yeah, just dribbling Hysen off the ground. He's hacking out even more damage. Downlight didn't lead into an air, but it doesn't matter. That's still damage, and he's looking for more of these sidelights, downlights, anything. Hysen can only get the neutral lights to connect, and that bow goes away. Sword's now picked up. Okay, they're just running.
That was
going for a sprint across Mammoth Fortress, getting that cardio in. It's fun to see that when both players are just waiting for the other person to make the first move.
So yeah, advantage currently definitely in the way of Pavelski. Hysen building into the red. I feel like he hasn't had any significant answer this stock. The sword hasn't been working out quite as well as the bow did.
Okay. Oh. If at first it does not succeed, try again. Down sigs in both directions. Gauntlets, Onyx's Gauntlet down sig is one of my favorite moves in the kit because it feels like an empowered Gauntlet down light. Like, you slam the ground for a combo starter, but this slamming the ground means that they're going to be sent flying with the tail after you catch them.
Oh, yeah. It's very scary. She's a monster.
Ooh, down sig avoided and punished. Uses that landed cannon down air to blast him away. Another down air connects. Can he get a third? So much damage coming out of the Hysen's last stock here. Oh, the neutral sig just barely avoided, but the neutral sig blasts Hysen away. Will they toss the cannon straight up? No one for the side sig. Gets in, and Hysen skirts right underneath it. Gets the down light into recovery. Tries to get the neutral sig off to the bow pickup. He can't get the stock, and Hysen's on the verge of losing this in game 2.
Looking to catch this landing. Couldn't do it in time. The gravity cancel signature once again punished by Pavelski. Neutral air, not yet enough. Onyx's defense is really just something else.
We saw that gravity cancel neutral sig used once again. Oh, no comes. I like that idea. I'm not sure what traveled further there, a diagonal dodge or a neutral sig, but actually, didn't he have side air? I'm not sure. I'm not too worried about it. Pavelski's still in the lead.
Yeah, he doesn't seem too worried about it, so I'm not really going to worry about it. They've still got another stock left to fight. Almost taking out off the top with that. Jeez.
Throw into what? See? Hysen getting the damage in. Oh, man. Bow ground pound.
Let's go.
Bow ground pound would do it for sure. Maybe a down air
easy.
as well. Oh, he's looking for those down airs right at the edge. Trying to snipe Pavelski away. The down sig hits. It was so close. Still 8 defense from Onyx, just barely holding him alive. The dealer recovery gets it to Hysen. He makes the comeback and he takes game number 2. It's now 1-1.
Jeez, that was a wild game. I really thought Hysen too far on the back foot to be able to make that comeback. But really, that bow at the end, that seems to be the answer. Koji's bow for Hysen is just such an amazing way to start this off, open it up, get the damage in, and then it's also just threatening a combo starter from that far away. I feel like Pavelski hasn't been able to figure out the pacing of it yet.
Yes, certainly. The bow has been the game changer going into this pick from Hysen on the Koji. Now on Mammoth Fortress again for game 3, opening up the sword, keeping that weapon away from Pavelski, although he's perfectly fine. Kick and punch him away as the gauntlets are picked up. We've been seeing that moment a lot. Hysen and Pavelski, they will dash to the left, and they'll just be like, all right, your move. No, your move. And it's been happening so much in these games, and it's like my favorite thing to see.
Yeah, it is pretty cool just because, you know, they're both thinking about it, but they're both just trucking along. It's almost like the quick standoff, you know, stare down, except faster.
It's that much more anxiety-inducing because they're both moving while doing it, right? There's no, you're not being inactive. You're both simultaneously repositioning. Oh, nice snare in the recovery, dodge in place. Want to see what Hysen was going to do, but Hysen just opens right up to the side light. Down light. Oh, perfect from Pavelski. It's the down light nair recovery. Isn't that going to be enough to take him off the top? Oh, and he avoids the side sig using the nair to send him beneath the platform, but then the neutral sig from Hysen connects. Such a close first stock between both these players.
He's just dashing neutral lights. Hysen covering the ground, grabbing the weapon, and not yet enough. Onyx, too tanky.
Yeah. That should do it, maybe?
That's a lot of ground to cover. Pavelski fighting his way back up onto stage.
Onyx defense doing it time and time again. That sider will finish it off. Pavelski can't make it back, and now it is 3-2. Hysen continuing to take the lead over the Onyx from Pavelski, and maybe we'll see Lucien, depending on how this game goes, but he has to win it first. Hysen needs to put Pavelski on match point before we see anything crazy like the Legends change.
Ooh, bounced off the wall up over the weapon, but that puts him right in the strike zone of Pavelski's uppercut. That happens so much. They both keep chasing to the left. I can't handle it.
It's amusing. I am here. It's so much fun to see. Who is going to strike first? Pavelski now going for that side light. I wonder if it has anything to do with the platform, now that I think about it. Because it's only been happening when that platform is resting there, so they're both trying to reposition that platform, have that multitude of options. Oh, weapon throw off the ground pound. Is that going to be it? Pavelski gets it!
Pavelski was just tracking him for too long. Hysen was trying to just spread out his options as wide as possible so that way he could make it back because he needed to cover all that distance, and Pavelski knew it. He just flat out knew.
Oh, is Hysen going to return the favor? Oh, that weapon throw was perfect. Pavelski still managed to pick it up. And he siders all the way to the other side of the stage. Oh, what? That was actually so hard to do. That diagonal dodge in the sider was perfectly timed to just barely touch the stage to get the jumps back. I cannot actually believe that he did that. And he had to. Hysen was on the verge of being able to ground pound him.
Oh, yeah.
This offstage play is driving me insane. Okay, makes it back. Gets the neutral light before the down sig was able to. You could see Koji was lifting his foot, wasn't able to get the board to come off the ground, and the recovery does take the stock. Pavelski, all those tricks amounted to very little damage as Hysen's able to even it up 1-1 once again.
So now he is on the sword versus the gauntlets. We've seen Pavelski's gauntlets just turn up the heat and score so much damage in such a short amount of time.
Dodged.
Trying to slice him up, opting back over for the bow. Gets the anti-air combo, neutral air into neutral air. I get so nervous when Hysen goes that low off stage because we've seen Pavelski just babysit those options time and again.
Yeah, okay. Let's see what Hysen can do. Oh, and Pavelski started to put the down six. Waiting all these. Oh, what?
Oh!
Okay.
The swooping claws. He did not expect that one. He was looking for the down signature, which he might have gotten under, the neutral signature, which he definitely would have gotten under, but that side signature actually swoops a little bit lower, just scraping the ground.
So I wonder if we'll see in the replay, but I want to highlight what the surprise factor of that was, which was that it wasn't a gravity cancel side sig. It was a side sig that could only travel as far as it did, due to the fact that the platform was in the middle of rising. That was the where everything came from there. So that's why I was just like, what? He went that far? We're going to see right here, Pavelski postures onto it, dash forward sizing. It's almost as if he warped into the center of the stage, and there was absolutely nowhere for Hysen to go. That was such a clever usage of the Mammoth Fortress platform from Pavelski, and now he has a 2-1 lead because of it.
And it looks like Hysen now swapping over to the Brawlhalla, saying, wait, your defense has been doing quite a lot here. I could use some of that.
Yeah, Hysen, interestingly, going on to the Brawlhalla with the Axe and the Blasters. A really different pick coming up from here, and Pavelski is just looking to completely abuse it. When it comes to weapon matchups, me personally, being a Blasters player, I say that fighting against Gauntlets of Blasters is pretty darn difficult. Like, unless you get like that miracle gravity cancel neutralite read off of like a Gauntlet sidelight whiffing, once Gauntlets get in, you're basically it's basically a lost cause. It's a very difficult matchup to play against. So let's see if Hysen's able to do well.
Highly volatile.
So far, it's been
Pavelski, I mean, they're both building up the damage. They're in the knockout zone. That down air is gonna seal the deal. Hysen knew it. Yeah. He didn't have enough left, so he's just like, all right, we'll move off stage, get the respawn a little bit quicker.
Yeah, Hysen starting off a small deficit. Into this game could get a lot larger depending on how much he's able to do. That Axe Cider wasn't enough. Pavelski just jumps right over the weapon throw from the Axe, comes down. No, he tries to Sair forward, but Hysen stops him with that side light. Still needs a lot more damage here. I mean, a lot will knock out. Okay, I wasn't actually expecting this Sair to knock out just at that point, but it does. And Hysen evens it up 2-2.
Pavelski over onto the gauntlets. Hysen just keeps trying to anti-air. Pavelski, you know he wants to get on the ground. He needs these side light starters. Oh, that's what? How did Hysen survive that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It has to be that Brawlhalla defense coming into play. Really valuing that stat going into game 4. Pavelski gets that nair. Went for the neutral sleep with a weapon throw. Stops it mid-cast.
Oh! Reads.
Okay.
He just unloaded the clip on him. That's it.
I mean, that was amazing. That brought that game to dead even. Oh, I think he was going to try and go for that pickup there, and Pavelski just punishes him for it. He kicks forward, doesn't get the weapon, and Pavelski takes him off the top of that recovery, and now potentially the last stock of his winner's bracket run. Can Hysen stay into this game, or is Pavelski going to take it 3-1? Once there comes through. Oh, what? Hysen with the recovery. Gets the very tail end of him. Oh, but the ground pound doesn't come through. Pavelski Sairs a little bit too early. Interrupts the ground pound that Hysen was going to be putting out, and Hysen can't get that early knockout. And now Pavelski continues to add on the extra credit. Ground pound comes through. Down air avoided. Pavelski just swarming him with the cannon. Now the gauntlets are picked up, and he pummels him away. Oh, beautiful. I love seeing those sudden ground pounds coming through. Gets that chop down to the ground. Suddenly sends Pavelski back through, but this is looking pretty bad for Hysen. And there, gets the recovery. Evens up the stocks. Can he do it? Can he bring it to a game 5?
I mean, he's certainly poised to. Raza with just some of those chunky axe swings. If he can land them, you know, just don't get caught out in any of those big cannon strings.
Oh, but the recovery sends it away. And that means that the next weapon that Hysen's going to be picking up are those blasters. He's been able to do a lot of damage to them before when he's against the cannon, though, so maybe it'll work out. Pavelski does he deny him? No! Oh, he hits him with the neutral stick, and that's enough! Pavelski blasts him away and takes the set 3-1 to fight against Blue in the winners' finals. Hysen will go down to the lower bracket to fight against the winner of Swata and Kikse as we're going forward into this bracket. But man, what a incredible set. Pavelski and Blue. I would not have imagined that would be the winners finals matchup going into the day. I mean, I have been so reliant on just being able to be like, Acno every time.
But yeah, I mean, not this time. Hey, that's just kind of the way it shakes out. But I mean, I still believe we've seen him go through incredible runs through tournaments, through multiple opponents, so he's still got another shot. That's
why, indeed. And Acno is going to be fighting against the winner of a matchup that we got coming up later today, the Ninja 729 versus Blaze, which I'm excited about as we go and dip down into the lower bracket of top 8. I'm excited for the matchup that we got coming up. I believe, actually, I thought it was later today. No, it's right now. I think the Ninja 729 versus Blaze is going to be our next matchup. Very